KLFY uncovers and digs deeper into the untold stories of missing persons, strange disappearances, cold cases, and mysteries from the heart of Acadiana. This is Cajun Case Files, a KLFY Plus exclusive.
Welcome back to Cajun Case Files. I'm your host, Britt Lafaso, and today we are joined by Bill Daspit's wife, Lara Virginal Daspit. How are you feeling, Lara? It's been almost 2 years since you've last seen your husband.
It still seems surreal. I wake up every day, I have his pictures throughout the house, I look at him and I'm like, I just don't understand how he disappeared, why he wasn't found. I don't understand it. I mean, it seems almost like it was last week. And when a song comes on or certain TV shows, like, I have Dish Satellite, we have a DVR. I am still taping his two favorite shows, Hogan's Heroes and MASH. I still tape them every day and I save them in the file that says Bill. I know he's, 1 in a million chance of him coming back, but if he comes back, I got the TV ready for him. His side of the bed's still there. His clothes are still there. His chair is still where it's at. His tools are still there. I haven't moved anything. I don't want to. I don't want to accept the fact that I'm not getting my husband back. Because I've spent my whole life trying to find one man to love me and respect me. And I finally got one. And I know how lucky and blessed I was to have him. And I'm never gonna have that again. And it's not fair. Because he's a good man. He's a really good man. He helps people. I mean, you need help, he's there for you. You need something moved, you don't know why your motorcycle don't start, you got a plumbing problem, whatever it is. You need a trailer moved, he got a tractor, he'll come move your trailer for you. Just a helpful person. And in Coda Homes, people are walking on the side of the road. We both have stopped and picked people up. We did all that. I don't understand how he was able to walk all the way through Coda Homes and nobody offered to help him. They all said, well, he didn't have his glasses on. I didn't recognize him. But I'm hearing now that, maybe some people did recognize him. But they didn't want to stick their nose in the business. But I was told that he was walking down the road bloody and muddy. And not one person stopped to say, hey, do you need help? I mean, obviously something had happened to the man.
What about that white car that husband and wife had came forward and said, we were going to stop, but we saw that white car in front of us pull over and stop and talk to Bill, and we thought he would be okay. Did that white car, the driver, or anybody in that white car ever come forward to you?
No, nobody ever came forward. I only learned about the white car when I was at Joyce's feed store, picking up dog food and handing out flyers. Because I was canvassing Jeanerette, New Iberia, St. Martinville, Coda Homes, Catahoula, the whole area. Because it was like, a man can't disappear. Mm-hmm. He's a big guy. He's a really great guy.
You did a lot of your own investigating throughout this case, throughout Bill's disappearance. You put up those billboards here. Did that ever lead to any tips from anyone? Did anyone ever call you?
No.
Nothing?
No. The only phone calls I got were in the first month or two, and they were, tell us what you did. They're trying to get me to confess to something which is impossible because I love Bill. I mean, he takes good care of me. I mean, we had a good partnership in our marriage. Each of us had our own way of doing things, and we had our strengths and our weaknesses. And where I was weak, he was strong, especially like physically. I mean, I was dislocating my hip every 2 weeks. That man was picking me up and carrying me. He was having to take care of all the dogs, take care of the vehicles. He was doing everything. I couldn't do anything. I was bedridden. And then I had to crawl out of bed and start looking for him. And I'm having to argue with the cops that no, he did not flee the scene of an accident. His glasses were found where he wrecked his motorcycle. Soon as I found out that next day that his glasses were found, I lost it. I started calling the police. They came out, they interviewed me, said, well, if he shows up, call us. We want to arrest him. I said, what do you want to arrest him for? Fleeing the scene of an accident. I said, he didn't flee. I'm telling you, he didn't flee because he would have come to the house, which was like 200 feet away, got his truck, pulled his motorcycle out of the ditch. He wouldn't have allowed his motorcycle to be towed off. He had wrecked it before. He had wrecked other motorcycles in his life. I had gone and picked him up several times over the years when he laid down a motorcycle or the tire went flat or he ran out of gas. I was used to all that. I'm there. He's there for me, I'm there for him. We break down, the other person comes, whatever. That's just the way it always was. And it's like, it was so hard trying to convince the cops that the man's blind. They're like, well, he's riding a motorcycle. Well, he's walking down the road. I said, he had glaucoma surgery. He's looking through a fog. I mean, when I realized how bad his eyesight was, it was in the morning when I asked him back in June, because he disappeared in September. One day I was getting ready to go to a UL event, alumni event, and I came out of the bathroom, I asked him how I looked. And he said, fine, you know, that's a nice dress. I said, great, how's my makeup? And he goes, Lara, I can't see your face. All I can do is see the shape. I went, what? You can't see me? And I started crying. And then I got on my computer and started calling up doctors. And I brought him to my eye doctor, who then sent him to a glaucoma specialist. I mean, the glaucoma had kicked in really hard. He was getting eye drops, 4 different kinds, 4 times a day. 3 drops of some of them, 4 drops of some other ones, 2 drops of that one. I mean, it was a whole regimen. And I had spent a month and a half teaching him, and I had to label the bottles and the different sizes and all that and color code them so he knew which one it was. So if he was at his shop and his eyes started feeling scratchy, he could put the drops in. But most of the time, he just came home and, Lara, time for me to have the drops. Because he would actually lose his eyesight in the middle of the day if he didn't get the drops put in.
So you think that's what happened that day? He was riding down the road, couldn't see, crashed his bike.
Well, the right lens was missing from his glasses.
Before he left from home that day?
No,
Okay.
no. And he saw out of his right eye. He couldn't see out of his left.
Okay.
The left lens was just a lens to mimic the right one, so they matched. But he couldn't see out of the left at all. He was legally blind. And that's why I was trying to explain to the cops, the man's legally blind, he's looking through a fog. I said, well, we got him on camera, he's walking. I said, he's been blind for 40 years. He knows how to function. This is not the first time. I mean, he's lost his glasses before, but he's always found them within an hour. I said, this is not making any sense. I said, but it took 3 phone calls to the police to get them to realize this is a missing person situation. This is not a crime where the person, took off after they wrecked.
So initially, they treated Bill's case, and this is deputies with the St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Office, correct?
Yes.
So investigators kind of treated Bill like a suspect
Yes.
in a crash. So when did it become them asking you or telling you, tell us what you did to Bill?
Well, the cops, I think they kind of phrased it, but it was more like strangers were asking me that question.
Okay.
Because people that knew us, as one person said, well, we didn't even see y'all argue. And I was like, I said, oh yeah, we argue. Yeah, but y'all don't argue like some of the people around here do. Well, no, we keep it to ourselves. We go home, we discuss things. I said, we were friends for over 15 years. We knew each other so well that when we got together, we knew each other's limitations. We knew what to do and what not to do. And that's how a marriage works. You learn, you adapt, you negotiate. And the most important word is compromise. And that was the thing that me and Bill had to learn to do, because we grew up in families where that wasn't done. The men were very authoritarian. They told our moms what to do, and moms are supposed to do it. And that didn't work well in my relationships. I believe in being a full partner. I have an opinion, I have a brain. And Bill treated me like that. I mean, he helped put me through school. I mean, when I got a DWI, he drove me for a whole year to school. Every day, every day, every day, he got up and drove me. And that's an hour's drive one way, and he paid the fuel. And it was really hard. And sometimes he had to wait at school for me because I had to stay late to use the computers or something. And he was there for me. During finals, when I stayed over, he'd come meet me in the morning with coffee and a croissant, you know, and a kiss to wish me good luck on my math test, because that was the only time I stayed over during finals, was for math classes, because I'm dyslexic. So math is a challenge. So I would literally stay in the computer lab at UL all night long, redoing all the homework from the semester to be able to get my grade up high enough, because I had flunked one math class and I never wanted that to happen again. And Bill had seen me cry so much over that. He was like, okay, whatever it takes.
I mean, Bill really seems like he was your rock. And so it must have been so frustrating for you when people are coming to you with these accusations that you did something to him. I think back in May of 2024, you said even deputies came to search your house looking for, you said the
Human
search warrant
remains?
said human remains.
Yeah, 8 months. It was 8 months after the fact that he disappeared. They finally showed up with a search warrant.
And they didn't find
And
anything,
I asked him about, I said, it's been 8 months. Why are y'all showing up with a search warrant now? We can't tell you. Okay? What are you looking for? Human remains, clothing. Okay? You want to go to the shop property? Well, here's the keys. I didn't even go. I was so used to them coming around. If it was the Cajun Navy or it was somebody with some tracking dogs, here's the keys, go. Whatever y'all need, go search. But I'm telling you, if he was way over here 5 miles away, there's no way, if he was seen over here at 10:30 at night on Banker Road, there's no way at night, if he can't see, he would have made his way all the way back to the property, the shop property no less. Because our house is in between the whole situation.
How do you feel the sheriff's office handled the investigation into your husband's disappearance?
I feel they did the minimum. They did what they thought was required and nothing more. Because I wanted a silver alert issued, because he's legally blind. That would have opened up the field more. Was talking to Texas. I had Texas Equine texting me. They wanted to come, but they had to get permission from the detective first. Detective told him no. He left on his own accord. He walked out of there. So I was not allowed a silver alert, which I don't understand. I wasn't allowed to have the horses come search, because I believe the horses would have found him in time, because they were trained and they can sense people. I mean, a four-wheeler plowing through the woods might miss him if he's 20 feet away laying in the brush. A drone flying overhead, yeah, it's got infrared, but this is September. What happens if his body temperature's dropped a little bit and it's matching the ambient temperature around him and he's covered in mud? Because everybody said he was all muddy and bloody, because you could see he had been slipping. They had said, they had seen it. I just thought the horses would do it. We had dogs, let's get the horses out there. They can cover a lot more ground and they can go into areas that I couldn't, because I was waiting to do surgery again. I mean, I had dislocated my hip 5 times because it was a bad fit they had done the year before. So I had to go to a specialist to get it corrected finally. And I was so intent that, what do I do? My husband takes care of me. Who am I going to get to take care of me while I'm laid up? Who's going to take care of all my dogs? Who's going to take care of the house? He spoiled me. I got so used to him and having him. It was like having a warm blanket, always there for you, a security blanket. I mean, this man, when I was having a bad day or just upset about something, he would say, Lara, come here, I'm gonna give you a hug. And when I'd give him a hug, I would relax and yawn. And he would laugh. I go, why are you laughing? He says, because you're yawning. He says, you're so relaxed now. He says, you're not upset anymore, are you? No, it just drained right out of me when you hugged me, babe.
I heard you say earlier, you know, the horses may have found him in time. Do you think Bill could be alive? Or do you think Bill's
No,
gone?
I think the body they found about 500 yards from where he was last seen, because right before Christmas, this past Christmas, the cops came to my house and they said, before you hear it from anybody else, we want to let you know, we think we found him. Well, I said, really? Well, we found a body. And I said, well, where? Right off Banker Road. And I said, well, is it him? Well, we have to wait for confirmation, so we came to get some DNA from you. I said, well, you have his phones, and he was taking them apart and sweating on them and all that. And they go, we have his phones? We didn't give him back? I said, no, you have his phones. So they got a sample of DNA, which I don't remember, but later I came across a hairbrush. And I called them back up and sent in a second sample, because I figured a hairbrush with his hair, that would be good. And all the state police sent me was an email was on the first sample. They never answered me about the second sample. And all it said was that the DNA from the sample did not match their database. I asked him, is he in your database? Did you put him in the database? Because from what I'm finding out, nothing is getting done anywhere. I mean, the body is sitting at LSU Face Lab, where they could reconstruct the body's face. How long am I supposed to wait? If it's not him, then tell me so I can keep looking. I'm still talking to people. No, it's going to be 2 years, September 10th.
Well, 8 months since they found the body in December.
Yeah.
And still, after 8 months, they can't tell you definitively if this is
If
your
it was a
husband or
man,
not.
they could at least tell me if it's a man. You could tell by the pelvis if it's a man or a woman. Is it a big man, 5'10" with a big barrel chest? They can tell me, but they won't.
How frustrating is that?
I've never felt so helpless in my life because my husband depended on me to be his eyes. Mm-hmm. And like I said, if he broke down or he needed help or he had to go somewhere that took a lot of reading and things like that, because of the dynamite accident where he lost his eyesight, as you can look at the picture, his pupils are different. He has cat pupils because he was blowing up tree stumps when he was 13 years old in the back field, back pasture. And he came in for lunch and he was setting up his little dynamite whatever, and it blew up. He blew the kitchen up and he died 3 times. And they had to helicopter him to Tulane in New Orleans. And they're the ones that reconstructed his face.
When was the turning point for you when you realized I might be looking for my husband's body at this point? Was there a moment?
Not till they came.
In December?
Not till Christmas, right at Christmas time.
So for a year and a half, you had hope?
Yeah, I was hoping. That's why I did the billboards for his birthday. I mean, the whole month of February, there were 2 billboards every week rotating all around Lafayette area. I was literally trying to shake a tree loose to get the apple to fall. You know, something. I'm desperate.
Yeah.
I need answers. This isn't fair. This is not fair to him. He is a human being. He's a good man. I mean, there's so much evil in the world, and it just goes on and on and on. And then we got a good person that's helping others, who minds his own business. He doesn't stick his nose into stuff. But if you ask for help, he's there. He's there. He's there to help you move. He's there to redo the engine of your car. He's there. Might take him a while, but he's there.
Has there been a lowest point for you?
When they came tell me they found a body, that just, I thought my mood had stabilized because I go to a doctor, I'm on antidepressants and anxiety medicine now because it was so bad I couldn't drink a cup of coffee without dropping the cup. I mean, it was just, I just can't get out of my mind the image of him walking down the road because I can hear it inside my head. Lara, where are you? Lara, where are you? I need my wife. You're always here for me. You promised to be here. Where are you? And I can't be there for him. I pledge to protect, respect, and love him till death. And I feel like somehow I failed. And I cannot, for the life of me, figure out what else I can do to find out what happened, to bring him home. If he has passed, then I need to bury him with his mom. That was his wish. They have a crypt or whatever. But that was his wish, to be buried with his mom. I mean, I need him home. However, I mean, in a fantasy world, I think, well, maybe he has amnesia. And he'll just wake up one day and realize, well, you know, this is the life I left. But, like I said, that's a fantasy. I held on to it for the first few months and stuff, but when they came to tell me about the body, and they said it was right past the curve where he disappeared, it made sense. Because if nobody picked him up, I mean, if they had picked him up, they would have either brought him home or to a hospital. They would have helped him, the 3 H's. Help, home, hospital. None of that occurred.
It's amazing to think that you have all these investigators looking for your missing husband, and he was right there, potentially right there this whole time. The people that were supposed to be looking for him, for you, passed him up over and over and over again.
And he was legally blind, and I just couldn't get it through their head that the man's looking through a fog, following the white line on the side of the road. And come nighttime, that's it. It's pitch dark to him. It could be moon out, and it wouldn't matter. That glaucoma had kicked in bad. And I showed him his eyesight paperwork. He had just had his eyes checked. I showed him his hearing paperwork. He had hearing problems. I had brought him to several doctors in the last 6 months. And it just seemed like they didn't care. It's Coda Homes. People in Coda Homes don't matter. Which makes no sense to me, because I mean, I've been here for 40 years, but originally I was born in Florida. And I just don't understand how the police can be so lackadaisical. They failed him, straight up. They failed. Their job was to find him. And they spent all their time harassing and talking to people, trying to figure out a reason for why he left, instead of listening to his wife, who's holding medical paperwork in her hand, saying, my husband's blind, he needs your help. I got Texas Equine on the phone. They want to come look. Oh, y'all told him no. What about the silver alert? He's legally blind. No, y'all won't do that either. What will you do? Oh, you're going to come search the property that he worked at, which is 5 miles away from where he disappeared. How is that finding him? If the man had left me, he would have taken his Ford truck. He would have left with teeth. He didn't have his teeth. He didn't have his dentures in. He didn't have his phone. He didn't have any money. The man didn't own a debit or credit card. The man didn't have any cash on him. He didn't ever use an ATM. He can't survive in technological world nowadays. When we traveled, it was my cards that paid the hotel room. I'm the one that made the reservations. I paid for everything because he didn't have any of that stuff. He didn't even believe in it, and he couldn't see well, so he just didn't want to take chances. So there's no way for him to survive in the world without me. Without glasses. I tried to explain that. He can't get his glasses at Walmart. The prescription is only done like in 6 places in the whole United States. There's only one place around here that makes his glasses, Evangeline Optical in New Iberia. And that is like a 3-month waiting period because they have to grind them themselves. The insurance companies don't do it because of his prescription. I was trying to lay it out as simply and as logical as possible. And it's like they were just shaking their head, like they had this preconceived notion, oh, well, you know, he just left. He left to go party. Okay, well, it's morning. He's not back. something's wrong. Here's his glasses.
I could see you getting frustrating, and it sounds like a really frustrating situation. I think anybody in your circumstances, you're saying, hey, he's gone, he did not leave me, but you felt like you weren't believed.
No, I was not believed. I mean, I'm standing there with a cane. They went and talked to my doctors, so they were fully aware of my physical problems. So they know I didn't do anything. I couldn't have. And why would I? He's my best friend. You know how many years I searched? I've searched my whole life for a man that loved me as much as my dad did. And Bill did. He loved me more. My dad liked him too. Bill was the only guy my parents ever liked. And that's because he fixed the drive shaft on his truck with some duct tape and some paper towels. And got us back from Florida that way with the heater on because the engine was overheating and stuff. I got sunburned from it. But he was there. Yeah. He's my rock. I have a problem, he fixes it. If he has a problem, I fix it. We're two sides of the same coin. And we were content. I mean, occasionally we had an argument over the dogs, and then he would use the D word, divorce, to shut me up, because he knows that hurt. But then I made a joke about it, and then I emailed Dr. Phil, told him I'd get him to California. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna get you to California and talk to Dr. Phil. Well, once you talk to Dr. Phil, you watch the episode. He's grinning from ear to ear. No, he's not going to leave me. He loves me. You can see it. It's so obvious. Yet people watch that episode and were attacking me on social media, saying, oh, well, he left you. He divorced you. I had one guy call me up at 2:38 a.m. a week after he was gone. And the man said these words, you need to get off his damn back. The man left you. You need to shut up. And then he hung up. I looked the guy up on Facebook. The guy's supposed to be happily married with 5 children. If he's happily married with 5 children, why is he calling me up at 2:38 in the morning telling me to get off his back? Okay, these people they're taking the way they think and the evilness of the world and superimposing it onto me and Bill. And that's not right. We didn't have that relationship. Our marriage was solid. You
felt like you finally had your person whenever you and Bill got together. You wanted it to be you guys for the rest of your life.
When we met, I asked him out on a date for my 21st birthday, but he showed up with a friend. Mm-hmm. And I went with the friend for a few years, and then he went with somebody, and it was like every time he was single, I was with somebody. Every time I was single, he was with somebody. And then finally, you know, he's single again. I got rid of who I was with. We got together and we never slept a night apart, except when I was in London. We never broke up one time. Never, I've had it, I'm leaving, I'm never coming back, and then the guy packs a duffel bag, comes back a week later or whatever after he's calmed down. That never happened. We didn't have that kind of marriage. We always slept together in the same bed. Yes, sometimes we went to bed angry. You can't be married and not occasionally be angry, because life does that to you. But he was always there in the morning. He was always there. He was there when my husbands weren't there, when my exes weren't there. He was there when I needed to leave a guy because he was beating me up. He helped move me. He's always been there. He's been my knight in shining armor, my man on a white horse. My man on a motorcycle there to, Lara, what you up to, man? You need to let all that go, man. Come on with me, man. Okay, here I come. I'm going. And then when he came to my house, all dressed up, wanting to go out on a date, I was like, finally. He looks so fine. I used to call him gorgeous. Every time I called him gorgeous, he'd lower his head because he didn't believe he was good looking. And I told him, I said, man, you put a smile on your face and some nice clothes. I said, you're a gorgeous looking man, very intelligent, very attractive. And he would, nah, I'm not. Nah. And I said, look, I want you to look good. I want the women to drool. They can't touch you now, but they can look at you. I said, they can look all they want, they just can't touch. Yeah.
I mean, your story, you and Bill's story may have not it ended, you know, how you saw it, but you still have those amazing memories with him. And how did you want Bill to be remembered?
As a fun, loving, caring, helpful person. Because that's what he was. He wasn't the type to bother you with problems. He was the one you went to with problems.
What happens now? What's next for you? Where do you go from here?
You know, I don't know. My vehicles are all broke down. I was wanting to go back to school. I talked to the deans at UL, and they were like, as soon as I set up a payment plan for the class, that last class I took, I need to pay for that. But I talked to the deans in the communication department. They're all like, yeah, you know, fill it out. Come on. Everybody, you know, even President Savoy, who's retiring, he was like, yeah, you need to come back to school, Lara. I mean, he knows me. They all know me at UL. I won the Spirit Award for being a helpful, energetic, enthusiastic person. And I couldn't have been all that if I hadn't had Bill, my rock, at home. Because of the dogs and stuff, sometimes I couldn't get home till late. Well, somebody's got to feed them and take care of them and let them out and bring them in and all that. And he'd do it begrudgingly sometimes, but he would do it. And I knew that I could count on him, that I could follow my dream of a higher education because I had a loving, stable marriage. And I couldn't have pulled it off without him. Because I'm telling you, man, school at UL, man, there's some of those classes, oh, I'd go home and cry and cry and cry. And he'd pat me on the back and then give me a hug and say, Lara, you're smart, you can do it. You'll figure it out.
Bill's story, is there anything you want people in Acadiana, whether it be residents, investigators, anyone to take away from Bill's story? Is there anything we can learn from what's happened?
If you see somebody walking down the road and they got blood on them, they've probably been in an accident. Stop and ask them if they need help. There are people walking on the sides of the road that are homeless, that are hungry. They need help, and nobody's helping anybody. It's like we've all gone into our own shell, and it's like we donate money, but we don't donate ourselves. And society needs to get back to caring about each other and communicating, not just with a phone, not hiding behind social media. We need to get back in touch with each other. And he was a good person. He was a human being that was supposed to outlive me. I've got life insurance. He doesn't. Because he was supposed to way outlive me. We did our wills and all that because I was going to London. I was afraid the plane would crash. I left him everything and all that because I wanted to make sure that if something happened, that he was well taken care of, that he got my truck, that all the bills were paid. And I even have my best friends who were ready to step in to help him in any way possible because I have a lot of health issues. There's just no, I just don't understand why he's not here and I am. I wish it had been me. Because life without him seems so empty. I'm never going to find love again. I don't even care about love anymore because I had the right guy.
So if someone was to listen to this and walk away, you believe if somebody would have stopped on September 10th, 2023, and just stopped and helped Bill, he could still be with you.
He would be. He would be. He flipped that motorcycle. He busted that helmet up, but he walked away from that motorcycle crash. He was alive. He was vertical. If just one person had stopped and asked him, you need help? Well, I'm not sure where I'm at. I lost my glasses. Oh, well, we know who you are. We'll bring you to your wife. Because if he broke down, he'd call me, or sometimes I'd have somebody else call me to go get him. Lara, your husband's broke down the road, man. You need to go get him. Okay, no problem. I'll help you. I'll go get him. I mean, that's the way we were raised, to help people, to help each other. I just don't understand how he spent a whole day walking. Everybody saw him, and nobody did anything. And I was laying in bed expecting my husband to come home, and he never did. And if he was sitting here right now and we were telling him this story about somebody else, he wouldn't even believe it. He'd be like, no. There ain't no way somebody walked all the way through Coda Homes and nobody offered to help. I'm sure somebody would stop and help. Well, apparently without him and me, nobody's gonna stop and help. I guess we're the only ones. I did it today. I stopped and helped his dad. His dad was walking down the road. I stopped, helped him, gave him a ride. I mean, this is what I do. This is what Bill does. More people need to do that.
So one of the legacies Bill is leaving behind, reminding people to always help others.
Yes, to care. Just a minute. If somebody had just taken a couple minutes, you know, and talked to him. If they had just talked to him for a moment, they didn't have to do anything. They could have just called me, got on Facebook. Hey, Lara, your husband's wandering down the road again. Okay, good. I'll go get him. Thank you. Appreciate it. Because when I went on Facebook the next day saying, hey, has anybody seen him? Because he ain't made it home. That's when I got told about the motorcycle down the road. And the motorcycle had been hauled off. Nobody came to my house to tell me. Y'all found my husband's motorcycle, you picked it up, and you impounded it. You left the glasses laying on the ground at the wreck. And you don't even come tell me anything. I've got to find out through Facebook what's happened to my husband. And then when I finally do talk to the cops, they won't even listen to me. It's a missing person. This is not somebody who ran from an accident. I mean, I had to get a hold of 3 people and then one person at the store. I think her son works at the sheriff's department. She reached out and said, look, this is not an accident situation. This is a missing person. Y'all need to send somebody back over here. Because it took 3 tries for me to get the report done. And then after the report, the guy closes the notebook and goes, well, when he shows up, make sure you call us, man. We have questions for him. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. I said, y'all find him, let me know, please. I mean, I'm freaking out here. I got his glasses. I am freaking out. This man has glaucoma, no glasses. He's wandering somewhere. He hasn't had his meds. He's tired, he's thirsty, he's borderline diabetic. He's cranky right now. His head's hurting. And all this is going through my mind. I'm superimposing myself into him. I'm feeling what he's feeling. I'm imagining what he's going through. And the idea that he died all alone, hungry, thirsty, just wanting to be home in his bed, watching Hogan's Heroes, drinking a Pepsi. That's all he was. He was just a homebody.
Well, this will be my last question. You know, if Bill was here, what would you say if Bill is listening? If you're religious, I don't know. What would you say to him?
I love you, sweetheart. I love you more than I ever loved anybody in my whole life. And I wish it had been me. He was more valuable than me. He knew more. He could help people in Coda Homes more. I have education, but I don't have the skills that he has. It would have been better if God had taken me, because Bill helped and served people so much.
There's a reason you're still here. And that reason could be to keep telling Bill's story, remind people.
I'm never giving
people.
up. I'm not quitting. And I can hear Bill inside my head say these words. He would say this when I'd get fired up and something had to be done. Get him, Lara, get him. And he'd laugh. Oh, y'all don't know my wife. She's coming to get y'all now, man. You know, if somebody's done something or the truth needs to come out, yeah, come tell Lara. Lara will do it. And he relied upon me to do that. When his mom was dying, and his nieces had refused to give her any gumbo because the doctor said if you just put her in a quiet room, she'll pass away in 3-4 days. Bill called me up crying about that. I left school. I left in the middle of the day, came over there and started raising hell and threatened to call the cops. I was like, I'll call the doctor, I'll call the cops. If the woman wants gumbo, the woman gets gumbo. I don't care what anybody says. The woman's fed us her whole life. And Bill was standing there and he was crying and he was like, I don't know what to do, Lara. Because he didn't know what to do and he wasn't great at talking a lot. He was an introvert, kind of shy. And I was like, oh, I'm ready to talk. Man, who do I got to call? I'll call the governor. And I've contacted the governor's office about Bill disappearing. I've contacted state police. I contacted the congressman, contacted LSU lab. I've contacted the federal missing persons thing. I did the billboards, 2,000 flyers, got a reward. Anything anybody says. I mean, I was chasing people, complete strangers down. Every time somebody said I saw a guy walking on the road, boom, off I'd go. I mean,
Well,
I do know that Bill does not want me to give up.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of woman. He didn't marry me for me to quit on him. He married me because he knew I'd stand by him. And I would stand by him and I would defend him and I want to know what happened. He deserves to come home. One way or the other, I want my husband home. He's mine. That's my best friend. He's a great guy.
I know you will always continue to keep his story alive, and I want to thank you for giving me so much insight into who he was. I feel like I know him now, and thank you for this opportunity.
You would have liked knowing he was a great guy.
Thank you for helping me to get to know Bill through you. And thank you for sharing his story.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to get the word out. And thank y'all for listening.
All right. I think that's a great place to end. Thank you, Laura.